Sounds fascinating.
I never claimed that it would be, friend Kiev.
So how long does it take to recoup all your hit points?
We'll say you got them back, like an hour. An hour of not doing things and not being actively shot at.
Like getting acid poured on you.
Yes, or acid burning yourself, as the case may be. Yes.
What are you trying to buy there?
Yeah, if it's just a thing you want to just buy a common item from a thing, we can say you just pick that up.
I wanted to buy an energy shield, which
Yeah.
is just under armor, so.
Yeah, that's up to if anyone else has things they would like to buy. There's a chance one of you might know where to go to get those things. If not, then we can just say you picked it up at a random store.
I do know a place that sells stuff like that.
Well, if it's not too far out of our way, I would have interest after our last encounter, particularly what you and I went through, Kiev. I feel like I need something that will protect me a little more than just some clothes.
I understand that. Yeah, it is on the way to where we're going.
Let's say it is.
Very well. It should not take long. Hopefully it will not require any sort of metaphorical roll.
No, we can say you can go there.
Okay.
That's fine. Anyone else got stuff you want to do first, or that's a good place to do the next thing?
Probably fine. I can't remember. I think what did we say about, because I wanted to work towards getting some sort of a scanner.
But do you need one, or I have one? But...
Well, no, I mean like a very specific, like illegal scanner.
Oh, I don't know.
But I mean, I guess scanners are good anyway.
Yes. I forget if we actually explained that. I forget if I gave you full details on what's involved in making a police scanner.
I think you did. I think it was in one of the downtime actions. Let's see.
Yeah, let me search for that. I'm sorry.
Oh, here it is. Gotta find an off-grid electronics place, or steal one, or build one, but you need some stats and salvaged items and stuff.
Right. Yeah, so...
Is this something I know about, Emma? Is this something you told us that you're trying to do?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the place, if you talk to these people right, they might be able to help you out with that too. They're not exactly off grid, but they're somewhere in the middle.
All right. Well. Yeah. Well, check it out.
All right. Then cool. We can say you all go out to get a couple of things. And, you know, it's like dusk-ish. I'm going to put you right here again for the moment.
I'll also note,
yes.
if it's possible for me to have my gridded credit chip and not have my progenitor comm, I'm leaving my progenitor comm behind and just using the ungridded one.
Okay. Yes, we'll say you can do that. So you're basically leaving the comm, so you want it to look as though Dia is in her room, quietly obeying corporate orders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And remotely ordering something from a store
Gotcha.
with my credits.
I see. Okay.
No, I'm not actually trying to hack it. I'm just like, they won't bother to look at what my credits are doing.
Right. What are the odds? No, that's fine.
What's the deal with this place we're going, Kip?
Yes. I forgot. I'm looking for it. I haven't gotten to write it down yet. Sharf hasn't gotten to write it down yet. Kiev remembers.
Yeah.
Here it is.
So yeah, this I don't have a map for the exact store, but you're in this. You're in the commercial district. We'll say it's vaguely. It was only a mild diversion from where you're going anyway, because it seems as though the Verdant rally is taking place in the commercial district somewhere. So as you're approaching it, Kiev's comm points you to up here.
It's called Edge Tech Weaponry. Is where we're going.
Let's see.
It is. So you get to.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. All right. So you get to this store that Kiev is taking you to. It has like red and gray, like camouflage netting behind the sliding doors, and then there's like a heavy transparent plastic, like you would find in a meat freezer. So pushing all of that out of the way to get into the store, it's like very claustrophobic. There's like unmarked boxes stacked up to about 12 feet high where the ceiling is. It looks like some of them might fall at any time. There's like random kind of unsavory characters wandering around. And then, go ahead.
Sorry. As Kiev has yet to complete his actions, he's actually going to stay outside. He's not going to go in.
Okay.
He's
Like,
just
go in here. It'll be great.
You'll be fine.
All right. No other advice for them when they go in, or
Yeah, I might say something before we go in.
what do I want to say? Let's say, hold on. He's going to say to Marty, you may want to talk to Dex about the. When you're in there's a guy named Dex. Talk to him about the stuff you're trying to get.
All right, excellent.
Don't say that I sent you. I mean, they're not mad at me, but I don't know how much they want me to be like sending people their way.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Do you all get my Marty mail about those comms? That
So hard to take that seriously.
Dia attempts to do her. Yeah. Dia attempts to do the thing where.
Universe here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that Dia tries to do the usual thing of like her comm just popping up, but she doesn't have that one anymore, so she just like manually pulls it up or whatever. I don't know like what kind of comm these ones are, but.
Oh, these are like wrist comms. So.
Okay, so she annoyedly, just pulls it up and reads it again. But yes, I believe she did get that from Marty.
Yeah, I guess we didn't really discuss. So we have this tracker that was inside on Havana's comm. He said, I'm pretty sure it's deactivated currently, which is good. What do we want to do with that? Any of us good at knowing much about those? Or would the people in the store know that? Or
Able to help you more than I can. I mean, I came here to try to get that dog repaired, and they're working on it.
yeah. I guess we don't know. But, so, these folks are a little off the beaten path. They're a little... You seem to imply that they know how to keep secrets and won't always share things that they're not supposed to, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
All right, well, we'll feel it out.
So
Anyone?
that dog that I brought in is property of Systems Corp. And they're working on him for me. So that he won't be property of Systems Corp anymore.
I see. All right, well. That sound like people we could do business with.
Can they also attach the gun to the dog so like, or just pop out when it's ready to use it?
Guess you could find out. So right,
It's a good way to hide it.
Kiev's staying outside with the gun then?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless someone wants to bring it in there.
No, I'm good.
Alright, yeah. Maybe not good to just bring a gun into a store randomly.
Into a weapons store.
Yeah, marginally better to just stand outside the store with it.
I went in there the first time with it and didn't seem to cause
Oh,
any trouble.
Yeah, it's true.
fine.
We're I'm just going on the sort of general RPG assumption that everything disappears into like a Link style backpack that you can't really see most of it because it's just annoying to have like 8 weapons hanging off your body at all times otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally.
Everyone in this world has like a hiker's backpack filled with stuff as they walk around.
Yeah. And
Everyone's
also,
got his Genji walking around behind them with all their stuff.
yeah.
Kachi just needs to carry around jugs of various fluids.
Jug. Sorry, is Kichi carrying around the jug? In his
Uh,
backpack.
yes.
I mean, what if you get that?
Okay, and the injectors, etc.
It's everything he needs for any emergencies.
Any eventuality?
Right. Sounds good. Okay. So right, as you go into this place, you can tell that it's kind of like got a Faraday cage around it also. So you're not going to be able to use comms inside. You'll probably be able to do a couple of minor things with your electronics if it doesn't require an outside server to be reached. But
What about emails?
you can Marty mail each other from
All right.
inside.
Good. I need to know that. That's important. Right?
Excellent. It's a valid question that I totally definitely thought about when I wrote this game.
Oh, yeah.
So that characters wouldn't talk to each other directly. They would send emails. But you know, the future. So eventually you walk around this place enough that a guy, like, you're sort of trying to duck and avoid, and like you're looking for like items, like labeled things or anyone that works there, and you don't see any of that. It's just like a mess, like a fun house of a terrible store that's impossible to navigate. And eventually you come across a guy that looks kind of like, oh, that's not going to do it.
Is that you, Kurt Russell?
Stay
Here
close.
we go.
Oh.
A little bit like that, but instead of the like eyes that you see there, he's kind of got like a projection of various, like a screen that's just showing you images of like war and death and destruction and things like that. That's just like playing like very disturbingly on kind of a loop.
What are you buying?
Yeah.
Selling.
Basically, yes. So he appears, and somewhere I have him. So many characters. I should probably have made slightly fewer characters.
Oh,
More characters.
So just to be clear, these scenes of death are on their face, like on the
kind of
on the screen on their face.
covering their face. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like the hood is there, and then projections just in front of where a normal person's face would be, and then the rest of this amazing thing. I will say they're not holding a gun either.
Pointing all the time. I can't lower my arm.
Yeah.
Right, they're like someone in a cartoon who points a lot, except they always also hold the gun.
Right. They
What?
just wave it around. Yes, exactly. So kind of a you know, like, yeah, I'll just do the voice. So they're like, "What brings you here?"
I would like a hello. Good to meet you. I would like an energy shield. Standard issue, no frills necessary. Would you happen to have that in your? She looks around at the boxes. Stock.
And they will say, "Why, of course, right this way," and like take you in a random series of directions with no rhyme or reason to find a random box, and pulls that right off the shelf for you.
I would like to note for the record, the guy didn't sound quite so shady when I was on Discord with him.
I'm pretty sure I described him as super shady, but fair enough.
But not his voice.
Yeah, I should just put audio recordings in the Discord. All right.
It's probably easier to add NPCs via the thing you're using than making separate accounts, huh?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I started trying to do that thing, and I was like, nah, that's gonna take me a lot of time. So this is a little easier. I'm sure everyone's seen a couple of little technical glitches with it, where it doesn't always feed through whatever I'm typing into it. It's very specific, and you can't edit once it's done, which is hard. But you know,
It's just
overall,
like real life.
Yeah.
yeah, you have to have a conversation and then stick by what you said. It's the worst. I'm a writer. I can't do that. Anyway. Yeah, so you can purchase for normal store price. He is selling it at exactly the price that it's listed at in the core rulebook.
Good, because that means I have 1 credit, which is why I try to haggle the price in my downtime actions.
Good thinking. Yep. Okay, so you have that. So it's the energy
Okay.
shield.
Yeah, so that bumps up my defense.
That's true.
Which is good.
Yeah, so as long as your weapon is only one-handed, like a blade or a pistol, or, you know, a handful of acid, as the case may be.
Right. I mean, my weapon is the hand that has the cybernetic, basically. So
That's right. So, yeah, that works. So your other hand can hold the shield. That makes sense to me.
The shield also fed by the energy of living things. So you have to constantly feed its insatiable appetite.
it is an open question whether or not I could one day find a way to take energy and then like recharge my cybernetic, for instance.
Do you ask this in front of the storekeeper, or is this an out-of-character question?
Can I suck a little bit of your life to test?
It's for science.
Wait, you right? Like we're in front of the shopkeeper. It's like, wait, just to be clear, you want to take some of my essence to test whether I can take other people's essence and perpetually charge electronics?
Yes.
Which is presumably when Marty approaches. The
Yeah, let's say Marty comes in then. Yeah, the shopkeeper's just kind of looking back and forth between the two of you. Like, it seems like a problem for you to figure out, and he's not getting involved. And Marty approaches and goes, "How may I assist you? Or are you just browsing?"
It's hard to browse when they're all in boxes.
It's true.
Hey, have you ever seen something like this before? Pulls out this the bug thing.
All right. He takes that, and you can't tell what his face is doing because of all of the crazy war imagery. But he sort of, without saying anything, takes it and walks in another random direction, like away from you.
Is this some sort of code? Like I ask you about it, and you take it.
He has disappeared around a corner. And with
All
how
right.
labyrinthine this place is, you may want to follow it.
Take all the stuff. No.
He fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Look
Yeah.
at the weapons store. Didn't see that coming.
No, I'll follow him. That seems like a thing to do.
All right. Let's see. Everyone, roll me a speed or a stealth. Everyone who's in the store.
Speed 2.
Okay, so the assumption is that we are just idly following them.
I mean, yeah. You can try
Okay.
to do something else if you'd like, but Marty's going after him, but it's a tough store to follow.
Okay, so
slightly better at stealth. So
just speed, you said?
Yeah, speed or stealth.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm trying to put the shield on my hand, and I just keep like running into boxes.
Okay.
Oh wait, so it would just be regular stealth, not fast hands. So I have 16, I guess. Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good.
That's Kiev's role for being stealthy outside the store.
Great.
He is being actively stealthy.
All right, so yeah, if I would say that individually you might have trouble keeping up with him, but every couple of turns someone's like, it seems like Khajiit and Marty are at least on top of this guy enough, and that Dia can follow them and keep up. So eventually you are led to sort of like what looks like it would be a checkout counter, except it's in some random middle part of the store with no clear exit near it, just like unnecessarily confusing. And he opens, he goes behind the counter and pulls open like a trap door in the floor and just walks down that way. And you can give me like a perception, everyone who's there.
Cool. All right.
Ooh, nice.
8.
All right. So Dia and Khajiit notice there's like a grid over the entry to the basement area. It's like probably a security grid that will at least scan you for like what corp you work for and your reputation and all the basic profile stuff if you go down.
Would I know whether it would read that from our comms or?
Yeah, generally it would either be a comm scan or a retinal scan. You can take, so one of those you're fine with, the other you're not, right? So you may want to spend a little more time looking at it to see which it is.
Close my eyes.
Or or literally.
No, I don't.
I think Dia honestly just like if Marty's just like walking straight ahead, Dia like holds out an arm and is like, Marty, this as I understand it, this grid above us is designed to scan for your personal information and any corp affiliations, etc., etc. So I'm gonna leave, but you're welcome to continue.
So what do we like? Does this? Do we get the sense, from what we know about this type of thing, if we would know about it, that like, this is like immediately fed? It's like like everyone in the world knows that one of us walked into this place, or just like the person who controls this scanner would get that information.
Generally, it would go to. I would say that people who would have this in an establishment like this, that information would be available to the owner of the establishment. So if this creature owns this store, he may be the only one who has access to it, but he does have a property in the middle of kind of Terran Systems territory on this planet. So it's not entirely like private store ownership is pretty rare, because most of the time people are just renting space from corps one way or another, especially in a district like this. You could look around to see if there's any clues to that, but generally, and it's not like everyone in the world would know it, but certainly if you were concerned about people learning this stuff about you, it's like having your Google phone on when you drive around. It's like Google knows that where you are. Do they care? Are they looking for you specifically? If they were, they'd know. That sort of thing.
Khajiit can try to scavenge more parts from various things that he finds.
Khajiit could. You are in a person's store, so it's not a back alley. But if you wanted to start opening boxes and pulling parts out of them, you could. If that's
It
what
looks like a
Khajiit
power
does in
box.
stores. Yeah. If anyone else had anything to say about him doing that.
This is part of why I stayed outside.
Yeah.
So we're kind of at the threshold of this this scanner type thing. We think.
Yeah, you are standing currently in front of a checkout counter. Behind the checkout counter, there's a trapdoor in the floor which has a red grid going across it, and a ladder leading down.
Yeah, Marty's okay with that. He'll try to follow.
Okay. Dia, you're not going. You went outside, so it's just Khajiit then.
I go. I mean, yeah. Like if Marty asks for more information, which it sounds like he doesn't. Basically, Dia's just like, if there's any chance that this person whose comm I'm using is seen bad with these people, I don't want them to think that I'm that person. So
That's reasonable. I think. I mean, this guy looks straightforward and safe enough. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know.
very well.
And I think I'll also, I forget if remind me if I said something opposite this, but I believe your comm that you tweaked, they're both just functional comms, but they're not linked to any one specific account anymore. So I don't think it's not going to come up as Havana or Janice specifically.
So it wouldn't have any information on the person I'm pretending to be, and it would have no corp affiliation.
Yes.
You said specifically before that it was ungridded. So I think
ungridded. Correct. So it's literally just a storage device that doesn't have. It works as a communicator. It works to hold your credits, but it's not pinging any kind of system specifically.
Okay, in that case, I'm fine with going, unless you think that the thing could read my credit chip, my actual progenitor credit chip.
Oh, right, because you put that on there.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I already used it to pay them.
Yeah,
They know.
they know you're there, so they can detect that was there at least.
Yeah, never mind. So I do stop Marty. I say all the stuff I know about the grid, and then ignore all the stuff about me leaving.
All right.
Okay. And then, the other issue that it might be a retinal scanner.
Oh, that's right. I did forget that part. Is there any way I can roll to determine that before engaging with it?
Sure.
Poke your eyes out.
Yeah, do like a computer's check on it.
Excellent. This can only go great because my stat is so good. Oh, no.
I mean, I can also check if we're worried.
If you want to, while she's doing that.
Khajiit could remove your eyes temporarily. Put them
Dia
back in.
is like trying to study it closely, but then like backing away because she keeps getting her eyes closer.
Right. How do I see if
Dia says, "Wash your eyes."
We got 9.
All right. Neither of you can exactly tell. But you might just be able to close your eyes and hope it can't scan you while you walk down the ladder.
I was gonna take that.
Just like what I do at airports.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like, Marty, would you like me to stay here and listen for sounds suggesting you are in trouble, or should I simply regroup with Kiev?
Well, I haven't had a lot of luck with people in this group responding to sounds of me being in trouble. So I think it's up to you. I'm gonna check this out then.
Well, this guy's been down there for like 45 minutes.
Right. And for the original question, Dia absolutely does not notice whatever Khajiit is doing.
Khajiit was.
I already noticed, but that's part of why he's going down this.
What is Khajiit doing?
Well, he
Dare I
offered
ask?
to temporarily remove his eyes and then transplant them back in afterwards.
No, thank you, but I appreciate the offer.
Yeah, like I'm good on that. Like, maybe later if we can get some better eyes. But we'll look into that.
I get it.
Kojima will look for more eyes in the store.
All right. I will roll for eyes. If you're just gonna wander around the store looking at boxes, you can do like a focus or a strategy or something roll for that.
Focus,
Like-
okay.
Yeah.
He's looking for eyes or
scavenging. You have scavenging.
yeah.
Looking for eyes.
Looking for
Eyes
eyes or what?
Or like a liquid concentrator, something that'll concentrate liquids.
I love when the words that you say are just like a thing that the game is not built for. It's like, what? I didn't build injectors into this core rule for some reason.
Well, I mean, these seem like things that the world should have, right?
The world is simply not built for Kuji. Yeah.
No. Struggled with this his whole life. Alright, so eyes and liquid concentrators. I'll get back to you on that. But I'm
I went
assuming...
for eyes listed.
So you're like pulling boxes off the shelf at random, kind of, and like
Browsing.
them. All right, fair enough. Okay, let's go to Marty and the basement then. All right, so you climb down there, and you basically, by the time you reach the bottom of the ladder, you see like a big wall screen in the back that's like Marty Detweiler, reputation 60. I guess it's corporate unaffiliated, right? So it would just say NA for like citizenry.
Well, this is my question. Does he get that, or does he get nothing?
Because of the comm.
Because of something. Let's see. Off the grid. Yeah.
Oh, good. Let me see that. Cool. Right. You have indeed. I didn't recognize that. Good use of trait. Yeah. All right. So nothing comes up on this screen, and he kind of turns around, as does another man at the far end of the room, who's like sitting in a big like architect style chair, looking at all of these wall screens. And that guy looks like bloop. Like that. Drawing courtesy Lauren Atkins. So yeah, so he turns around too. Also has a visor, but his is just covering like his eyes mostly. And is also projecting a bunch of other little screens, but at him, not at you. And basically they're like, interesting. And the guy that led you down here kind of looks up at the wall screen with your lack of information on it, looks back at you, and then just continues with what he was doing, which is showing the bug that you gave him to this other dude. And they're looking it over, and they're like, well, look at Man of Mystery over here.
Hey, look, if I walk into your place of business with a thing like that, gotta expect that I gotta walk through your scanner. If I can be sure.
And the guy who was sitting down is like, yeah, this guy's okay. I like him. What do you need from us?
Well, I mean, I was a little bit curious as to the provenance of that device. I know obviously what it's designed to do. I don't know how it got where it got or who put it there. So that's one thing I was looking into.
So you need to know who placed this or who programmed it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, generally, and he said, like, I assume you pulled this from a comm?
Yes, that would be accurate.
Alright, it looks like it's a type of bug designed to track communications. But, you know, kind of common. They come up once in a while. The guy in the chair smiles. He's like, yeah, corps really like knowing what the other corps are up to. So, seems like maybe somebody was under surveillance. Maybe they weren't even aware of. But
yeah, that was the sense I got. Yeah, as long as we're on the subject of tracking communications, there's I don't know, like if a concerned citizen was interested in, knowing when like crimes are happening in the area, knowing when like the corps and security are out and about doing their thing. If for no other reason than like to stay out of that zone. Got any ideas on how a citizen like that might keep track of that information?
So, sounds like such a citizen is looking to stay, like you said, out of the way, or perhaps one step ahead of what the peacekeepers might be up to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right. I mean, and the guy like leans back in his chair and he's like really proud of all of the knowledge he has that he is seemingly about to impart to you. And he's like, well, it's not that hard. If you know what you're doing, you need a comm that's not in use by anyone. You need some kind of comm expert that you can trust to maybe do a little reprogramming. You probably need a few other items that you could, if you know someone who's good at scavenging, you could probably find lying around the city. It's just a matter of knowing which parts you're looking for. But some of them are kind of rare. That's like the toughest part of it. And you also kind of have to know, the person in question would have to know which corp it is they're trying to avoid, because they all have different comm systems, different frequencies, so you could only really rig one comm to one corp at a time. There's a tiny chance that the corp might have a router on their end that might try and track it back if they were to detect that there was someone hacking their feed, but, corporate routers, they're not really that good at it. Like, you only really become a corporate router if you're caught. So,
yeah,
we could probably avoid that.
I think this citizen mainly interested in the prevailing corp in the area at the time, aka in this case, Terran Systems.
Yeah, that's it's not uncommon. Usually, if people are trying to stay off grid, that's the one they're trying to stay off grid from. Which I say with all due respect, and he turns to the dude standing up. And the dude standing up kind of shrugs. He's like, I mean, yeah, the store technically is property of Terran Systems, but, they're not necessarily aware of everything that happens here. So, obviously, our conversation and whatever happens in this room is off-grid. by design.
Good.
So,
Well, I'm Marty, which I say with full knowledge that there's no way for you to confirm any of that.
and yeah, the guy standing says, "My name is Karen, which is spelled like so." And the dude sitting down
Very
is like, "Well, while we're all giving each other fake names, I'm Dex. So nice to meet you." And he says, "Yeah, you know, I'll give you a list of parts you could need for this. Do you have anyone who's good enough at hacking this kind of thing that if they had the items, they'd be able to put this together?"
well. Out of character. So is that hacking or is that like a different skill?
So, what you would need is probably hacking, but you also need, and I'm just going to put this, that basically the items that he gives you, which are all a bunch of tech speak that doesn't exist, so I'm not going to bother writing what it all is. But he'll tell you that you need this in order to pull this together.
Marty immediately sends an email to Khajiit with those items.
Fair enough. The email does reach Khajiit because he is in the store.
Good.
Khajiit is looking mostly for eyeballs, though. So.
Oh, that's fair. I'll keep him busy longer.
Kaji replies, Kaji is on it. He's
And we see the camera, like Dia's looking into the camera, but really just looking at the room, like the door where Marty went through, and then the background Khajiit is just like leaping around different boxes.
Yeah, I will say the other people wandering the store are noticing the Eutherian jumping from.
Oh, other people.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't realize
I forgot
it was that well trafficked. All right.
I think you did mention that there were some people. I forgot.
Yeah, I did. But you know, that's okay.
I don't think that would stop Khajiit.
I don't think it would either. I
Or
would
I
do it
won't
again.
deal.
Right. Don't think Khajiit minds.
he's working in the back of the store where it's fewer people.
Yeah, that's fine. We can say you did a pretty good speed roll, so I can say you got to a back corner that actually seems to be a corner of this store finally, and you're just digging through boxes there, and you haven't seen anyone yet.
He's gonna start disassembling things that he finds, and then if there's any good pieces out of there, he'll take it. Otherwise, he'll just leave them disassembled inside the box.
Some assembly required.
All right. Cool. So, and you're already carrying some amount of scavenged parts from other things.
I have some scrap. Yeah,
Okay,
from
fair enough.
other stuff.
But anyway, yeah. Marty's like, all right, cool. Thank you for letting me. I will start looking for that kind of equipment. Appreciate your willingness to share that information. Back to this bug. My understanding is that now, sort of removed from a comm, it is non-transmitting. That be your understanding?
Yeah, this thing doesn't. It's built without particularly its own transmitter or receiver. It just kind of hijacks the transmitter receiver on the comm that it uses. It's just programmed to extract information, or analyze information. It's tough to say, and then it's probably piggybacking on a signal somewhere else that it's not supposed to go.
If it were put in another comm, it would presumably resume sending that information to whoever programmed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
And the guy in the chair is smiling widely and is like, "I'm not gonna ask what you're up to, but I like the way your mind works.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be more useful if I could figure out who the data's going to. But, yeah, something that could be done.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever feel like leaving it with us to investigate, and you can even see on the floor there's Kiev's dog with the bite taken out of it, or the laser blast is like sitting on the floor being tinkered with currently. Happy to take a look at it for you, but this right now is solely a you problem, so as far as I'm concerned, I haven't even seen this thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
He hands it back to you.
So what is leaving it with them? Is that like a downtime?
Yeah, we can figure out exactly what it is, but yeah, you need to leave it with them for at least one downtime to figure out how to get any more information about where it might have come from or where it might be transmitting to.
Okay. I'll hold off on that for now.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you need from these two?
Depends if he needs a stall longer.
Yeah, that's a question.
Okay, I'll say that in his scavenging thus far, Khajiit has found 5 common, 1 uncommon, and 1 rare item. So you did take something that's like mildly, you would recognize as mildly valuable from one of these boxes. So you are risking putting the box back without like the key thing that people would buy that item for. And if anyone knows you were there or finds a way to track it back to you, they might be annoyed. I don't know that Khajiit cares about such things if he's ransacking a store, but just for the record.
Definitely why I stayed outside.
I mean, nobody in here knows I have anything to do with any of these people. Probably.
No, it's true. I mean, so far, you're getting away with it. So.
So that means Kaji just needs to find 1 more common and 2 more rare pieces. So however many boxes he needs to go through.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll say that's probably all you'll find in here. But you could continue to scavenge elsewhere.
Okay. Seems to be good for now. He sends a email to Marty saying what he found so far and thinks.
Well, I guess. Oh, all right. Yeah, he's back. All right, great. I'll tell you what it's for later. Now, it says to Dex and what is it, Karen?
Karen, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Thanks for all this information. I'm curious. Are you two just business people, or do you have some other kind of broader agenda? Like, I recognize, maybe those are details you don't want to share. I'm just curious if, like, if you're, I think you catch my drift. Like, is your interest in helping me, to the extent that you might, purely driven by commerce, or is your somewhat flying under the radar? Is there some other thing going on that maybe I don't know about?
And I think they look at each other, and Dex will say to Karen, our motivations aren't 100% aligned, but we make it work. And Karen sort of nods and is like, yes, as a proprietor of a store run by systems, certainly my primary source of income is from that, and this is a convenient side hustle to have Dex running security for me in the store. Dex is like on the screen behind Dex you can see Khajiit digging through a box. Dex is not looking at that screen right now.
Okay.
And he's like,
Marty's like,
Mhm.
There are security cameras, like, clearly all over the store.
I'll email that to Khajiit.
That's probably a good plan.
They're not looking right now, but there are some monitors. So I guess you're mostly done. But like, if not, I'll give you the heads up.
Could you email back? You want me to hold these for you to buy, or you just want me to hold them?
But whatever's your preference, that's fine.
All right. Kaji just holds them.
All right.
Is Khajiit staying in the store? Or is Khajiit, like, waiting to pay but patiently? Or is Khajiit walking out of the store? Did you answer? I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Dave.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so Kaji was holding them, thinking maybe Marty would want to take them and perhaps pay for them, but given Marty's last email, it doesn't sound like it, so he takes the hint and starts making his way toward the exit.
Alright. So, behind Dex, Marty can see, because she just kind of wander off this screen and then wander in down here and then wander through and, like, heading for the exit doors, clearly, with a pile of scrap metal and like, electronic parts that he's carrying. So, meanwhile, Dex is talking about everything except the security of this store.
Great, top notch.
He's like, yeah, security.
I'm sure they don't like record any of it.
I'm sure. Why would they do that?
Yeah, that they pick up a lot of space, you know.
Yeah, it's just so boring to watch. So, no, Dex basically says, off the grid is where I prefer to work, and that's my primary means of living. So, in terms of affiliations, I prefer to stay loose.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, just so you guys know, I don't mean. While I also prefer to stay off the grid, I don't mean anybody any harm. Even the corpse, they're not my favorite people, but I just rather not be in those systems.
You and me both, says Dex.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we're able to do this. Is there anything you guys are looking for while I'm in town? I mean,
send me your. Dex will like flip you his comm information, which is off grid, but he still sends it to you so that you can reach him if he needs to. He's like, I'll keep you in mind. It's always good to know other people who are, able to find ways around the system if they have to.
Yeah, I'm. That I can do. All right. Well, thanks again for this. I'll leave you to it.
Sounds good. Karen says very sarcastically as you leave. Remember, systems provides.
Okay.
And they let you walk back out. And then Dex turns around to the monitors just as Khajiit is like walking out the door.
Just as or just after?
I'm gonna roll for that.
Okay.
Just misses Khajiit. But there is that little like boop 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 noise of like something has gone out the door.
Do I hear that?
Yes.
All right. There's an email.
Wait, they're all in pieces though. These are just parts. They're not like whole items though, right?
No, they're not. But like one of the items you took perhaps has some kind of electronic component in it that may have set off that noise.
It's nice to know that technology hasn't changed.
Yes.
I'm
sure there is a better noise for it in the future, but that's the gist.
The email is like, hey, Khajiit, I know you're pretty fast, so you should probably be fast. They may know. I don't think they knew it was you, but it sounds like that triggered something when you walked out the building.
Kaji says Kaji's already gone.
And it's Khajiit just bolting.
Shopping.
He's going to go out and join up with Kiev somewhere. Kiev is.
Yeah, so Kiev and Dia, you hear the alarm go off.
Just look at each other and run.
Oh well, I was still inside waiting for Marty, but I guess I did hear it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marty and Dia catch back up inside, and I assume head for the exit.
Yeah. So, they're pretty stand-up guys. Are you done in here? I think I'm done in here for now.
Yes, I do believe there's some sort of commotion that just happened, but yes, I'm ready to leave whenever you are.
Yeah, we probably should go. There were some shady characters around.
Oh, well, not the ones you were with, though.
The Karen's like standing out there.
Well, based on what you just said.
Subtle.
I don't know. I was down in the basement. But,
right, with the stand-up character. So everything's fine. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, right. But, I just don't want to get in their way while they're dealing with whatever their problem is.
Oh, yeah. Perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable.
But didn't we all just come in all together like we're a group?
No, I came in later because I stayed behind to talk to Kiev, so it may not be super clear that I'm involved with y'all's.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah, Karen has gone back to what he's doing, and he's not paying attention to any of you anymore. So.
I mean, they probably assumed that I know Dia, because Dia kind of, if they knew that Dia walked with me to the thing and then they left.
Yeah, they saw you in a group, and they probably maybe saw Khajiit there earlier, but they didn't notice him enough on the monitors to figure any of this out yet. If they look at it in more detail later or discover parts missing from returns they're getting or something, that might be a different story. But for now, you're all fine, and you can exit safely.
Excellent.
Well, Kaji never got scanned or did any transactions either, so.
He did not.
Well, and Dia did nothing wrong.
Excellent. All right.
Kiev's gone.
Haha!
Ah, he's back.
All right, I met Dex. I didn't mention you or that I even knew who they were beforehand. So we're covered there.
Cool. And given that I'm guessing Khajiit just ran out with a bunch of stuff, that's probably pretty bad.
Yeah. You never know what Khajiit's gonna do, but we should probably like.
Khajiit's standing right between you two.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, I think that it all still happens that way.
And he says, "Well, we can visit some other stores for the rest of the parts."
So we should probably move on.
Yeah. Let's move on for now.
This Burden Lab stuff, so we can. Dia, you want to help with? You need some help with that?
Yes. If anyone is interested in coming along, I could certainly use some backup. But I do not really know what to expect. So.
Now let's figure it out.
Very well. So yes.
Marty says a thing that I think I alluded to at one point, but don't think I ever said in character. So, right, Sangre is the same as the Reds?
Yes.
And they're possibly protesting this job that's happening?
Yeah, I think Dia has this information, which either she can give you or I can give you out of game if you'd rather. But
I think she did give it to us.
No, it's been a while. It's fine. You want to catch people up, Dia?
Right. So my understanding is that so Verdant is roughly under the Greens logo or banner, but primarily they work on food like food growing and engineering and whatever. And my contact put my name on a list of people who could potentially come to help, but their whatever compound they want to try to get off-site from this location, they can't get through the protesters for whatever reason, which are Reds and Sangre and so forth.
Yeah, all right. Well, and the idea is that some of us might take that job, try to help them cross those picket lines.
Ideally, yes. And as you can see, and like she pulls back whatever jacket she has to more clearly display the Sangre logo on her pants. I am expertly disguised to attempt to convince any protesters who might try to stop us that I am here to officially negotiate on their behalf with Verdant, which ideally will get us inside with no trouble.
I'm sneaky and can crawl on walls.
That is likely or a more helpful way of getting in, but my name is on the list, so we might have to work in tandem somehow.
Right.
Oh, that's some good work getting those that outfit there. Yeah, I might. I'm kind of more interested in learning what Sangre's up to, but maybe those things go hand in hand.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yes, I mean, they're right. I do not disagree. Learning anything we can about either side benefits all of us. And in her mind, she's like, and progeniture. But yes, it seems unlikely, or rather, we have good reason to expect remuneration from Verdant, and that it seems to be more of an unknown from Sangre.
Also, yeah, payment would be nice.
Indeed.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the way to get money, sure.
All right. So
We never seem to pay for anything.
You're like the Marty Kajit team.
right, distract and procure.
I mean, right. I think, right, he is just like, I mean, admittedly, if there are any other ideas on how to approach this, I am open to suggestions. But that is the best I have been able to come up with in the last hour plus.
I mean, it seems like it might work.
Seems like if we're not going to come up with a better plan until we figure out what's going on over there and see if there's a way to sneak in and sneak out. So, yeah.
Reasonable.
Cool.
Star White.
You on board?
Works for me. All right, so the Verdant Labs are down in the same map, but like, let's say the southwest kind of cornery thing down here.
Where all the people are.
Where all the people are. Some of them being reddish in color and some being greenish.
I'm guessing the people with the reds are green, and the people with the greens are reds.
That's correct.
Okay.
Just to make everyone's life super confusing. Yeah, so you arrive down here, which is indeed not far from Edge Tech weaponry. It's like, you've gone into we'll say you've gone into a transpod thing and down a couple of stops to another part of the downtown area, but you're still in the commercial district. Let me describe this area. Yeah, so you follow the coordinates to a building in the southwest quarter of the commercial district, and you hear like a ruckus outside. So it's dusk. The building is illuminated in yellow and green hues, which match a majority of the neighboring streets, and it bears the logo of Verdant Industries. Outside are two groups. One dressed primarily in red, being held outside a series of barricades by armed officials, and one person is shouting, "That's this guy here," which is being amplified by a sentry drone flying nearby, which I will put on the map. Not that you would ever attack a sentry drone, but just in case. There's a
Like
reason.
4 times.
There's the
The Z cut.
Yeah. Oops.
Fell down.
I'll say this guy's out here, and he's broadcasting that way. And the sentry drone has been reconfigured to carry speakers rather than weapons. So slightly farther away, I'll move these up a little bit. And I feel like I'm missing someone. Oh yeah, I am. Bloop. Yeah, across the street, a larger group of like unaffiliated observers are standing by. Yes. So this is what you show up to. What is the plan?
Well, so the group of people who are greens, they're just outside? Where are they in relation to, like, can we just go up to them? Do we not even have to deal with the reds to go up to them, or?
Yeah, let's say, this would probably be perception or politics or, something else. Whatever you all would like to roll for that. Instinct is a possibility.
I'll do
on perception.
Yeah, I'll do politics.
I kind of want to go and talk to the protesters,
Okay.
potentially. So I don't know if that helps to be distraction or just is what it is. But we can do that whenever.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do them one at a time. Let me pull up an initiative, and we'll see which one we do first. Feel free to.
You want us to roll initiative?
Yeah.
Skill mod. Not great, but I guess it doesn't matter that much. 4.
Okay. I think you can add yourselves to the, or you can add your number to the initiative number.
Oh, so we can.
Yeah. Excellent.
Wait a minute.
Like
How'd that happen?
traveling through
Well-
time.
No, zeros don't do anything.
You arrived yesterday. Okay. Great. Okay. Cool. So we'll start with Good sheet.
Always a strong choice.
What does Khajiit do showing up to this group?
So the opposite of the protesters, I guess, are security people.
Right. So for the moment, we'll say I kind of like don't have a bunch of civilians here to show, but yeah, we'll say there's civilians like in between the red and the green sort of groups here on the map. Why do you ask?
Wondering if there's anyone. Well, I guess Kaji's gonna maybe stay closer to the green group for now, and kind of wait and see. Oh my God, some new people.
I'm just throwing random NPCs in here. These are like unaffiliated folks.
Where is everyone else in our group standing? Are we like in the middle of the street? Or
You know, you're probably on one sidewalk or another. The barricades are all like sort of around this group where the reds are. And everyone else is kind of keeping a respectful distance from that mess. And the peacekeepers are just like outside the barricades, but the Verdant building's down here. So we're gonna say this part's sort of closed to street traffic. There's no cars driving by or anything, but
Yeah, well, I think we'll say that Marty sort of told everybody that his intent is to go and infiltrate or speak to the Reds. And to that end, as we have been doing so far this mission, going to attempt to not appear to be with y'all.
Should have given you the pants. Oh well.
I would like that Marty wearing the pants and say Sangre on the butt.
Yes. Need my shirt to burn off again.
That's right. It's been one sexy adventure, everybody. Alright.
Yes, Kaji will try to blend in with the nondescript peoples.
Okay. Cool, Khajiit can do that. And that's what that's all Khajiit's doing.
Roll to see if. Do you have to roll to see if anyone watched the news or?
That's true.
Oh, your Therians look the same? Is that what it is?
I will say that Khajiit does not seem to be recognized at the moment among this particular group. But that's a good point. There are definitely lots of Cat's Place Eutherians that you've walked past in this part of the planet. So it's a city of 100 million people, so there's lots of everything.
Perfect. No one's the wiser.
Yeah, but someone might at some point. If you started showing off all this stuff you stole from a power transformer, they might figure it out.
Well, then they wouldn't know all the parts I stole from the store would be.
It's true.
Show those off.
Alright, so Dio, what are you doing?
Well, I rolled an abysmal 8 on politics, so what faulty insight do I get out of that?
Alright, what you determine, well, what were you trying to do with that roll?
I mean, in the broader sense, my question was like, I guess I had pictured / Dia had pictured coming in that like the protesters would literally be preventing access to Verdant. But based on the map, it looks like the protest is cordoned off, and perhaps access to Verdant is not actually being prevented. But I guess like my question, right, is just like what's going on here? Like if I tried to go to Verdant, would the protesters get angry, or like would I have to go to them to like explain, don't get angry about me trying to go in?
Right, and I think it's fair to assume that there are probably some peacekeepers like around the Reds as well, not just around the building. So we can throw a couple more of those on there. But yeah, basically what you see is the access to the building is also cordoned off, and it's surrounded by peacekeepers. It seems like possibly this has been going on for a little bit of time at this point, and the peacekeepers are just trying to prevent any of the Reds from getting too close to the building. And at the same time, the easiest way to do that seems to be just prevent everyone from getting too close to the building, because the building is kind of closed for business for the day anyway. So you don't see people walking in and out regularly.
All right.
You can think on that if you need a second, and I can come back to you. But
I mean, I think, I don't know, whatever, I'll just do it. I think like Dia looks at Kiev and is like, assuming Kiev is still with me and hasn't wandered off with the others, follow my lead. And like she just like walks out like as far as she can get without peacekeepers stopping her, and then he like yells loudly enough, ideally so everyone can hear, I'm Diablo Symphony, ERB Special Operations, and I'm here to parlay with Verdant. Official business.
Are you sure you want Kiev to be visible when this happened? The whole plan was just allow him to sneak in if he could.
Okay. I mean, I guess Dia's thought was like you would be my attaché or bodyguard or whatever. But right, I guess this could go terribly wrong. So Kiev can also just like back away.
I'll hang. It's fine. Kiev is going to look as nondescript as a 6 foot tall chameleon can look.
So, yeah.
Chameleon.
So I like this. I will say that in the general, the area is pretty loud. So most of the loudness is coming from this drone down here, which is like has amplifiers on it. So like you shouting to this crowd is more like shouting at like a rock concert and trying to be heard over the stage. So
There's also construction going on, jackhammer.
so yes, so with your 8, that's what your 8 gets you. Is you yeah, exactly.
Kaji looks over and says, "Yay!"
Part of the crowd. Great. So I'll say that's going on. What's Kiev do?
Kiev is going to spend his turn looking at the Verdant Labs building and trying to find a way that he could, if he had to, get in without being noticed.
All right. Stealth roll, or do you have another idea?
Probably stealth, unless I can use focus. It's up to you.
Focus. You could use focus.
Okay, he gets advantage on focus.
Do it. Yeah, this is more because you're not actually stealthing yet. Great.
Right.
Okay, so what you can tell from the outside of the building is this is a lot less open than the building the Sova School was in. There aren't like balconies. It's not like terribly residential. This is more like a big, for the sake of argument, that there is not a like concrete and palladium glass, which is actually like a very, very hard metal structure straight up. All of the windows are closed. All of the closed and not built to open. It's a science lab, so it's probably like got some clean room type of stuff going on somewhere between the entrance door and wherever this lab is. But yeah, probably not the easiest place to find a back entrance to, or a sneaky.
What about the roof?
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, if you want to spend your turn climbing up to the roof, you can do that.
As long as I can do it, like, if I can, like, back up to about, like, here, and then sort of climb up here and go across the neighboring buildings, if that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't want people to see him do it.
Right. I'll say there's, like, this street representation is not exactly what's happening here, so this building's probably like a square block of the city. It's pretty large, but the city's pretty large, so there's an alley on the side, so you could certainly duck into the alley and try to scale the building over there if you'd like. So,
Great. That's what I'll do.
okay. Cool. So that's what Kiev's doing. Marty?
Alright, I'm gonna go over and check out the protesting.
Alright. So let's see. Are you just observing, or are you interacting? Like, what are you trying to do?
The intent is probably to interact, but I guess what's going on? Like, it's anything I notice as I approach this.
So, this drone is making all the noise, and there's a bunch of Reds, like, shouting and holding signs about, basically, like, preserve the natural beauty of Deneb, that sort of thing. And, like, no more terraforming, that stuff. So you see the guy whose voice is being broadcast is this dude. So he is a Scythe. He has cybernetic wings. He's kind of like a short, stocky guy, and he has a loud, booming voice, much louder than his frame would imply, even without the... it's a commanding voice, even without a loudspeaker amplifying him. And he seems to go by the name savant. And he's basically just shouting at them like, you know, this is our last chance to stop the Terran systems terraforming of this area, to stop the new corps from coming in. We tried simply protesting and no one is listening. It's time for more drastic action. Who's with me? And like everyone's like, "Yarr," and like no one's actually doing anything beyond that. But he's making a bunch of noise and rowdying up the crowd. And I would say the crowd is probably like 20-ish people, not just 4 guys.
Right. And then, so wait, these gray people, are they, you say those are like,
civilians.
okay.
It's like, it's not clear what their affiliation is. They're not wearing particularly red or green anything.
And I forget, is there like security around?
Yes, all of those blue outlined dudes
Right.
are peacekeepers. And
Got
the
it.
peacekeepers, which is a good point, seem to be equally from Verdant Industries, Novak Cantor, which is another pharma company that mostly does like hospital and medical stuff, and Terran Systems.
Cool, yeah, I was gonna wonder about that. Okay.
They kind of have like their arms crossed and like you can't see their faces because most of them are masked, but they're like looking like they just wish everyone would disperse and calmly and soon. There are no weapons out yet, but there definitely are weapons that they have. So
Okay. So I guess I will go up to or try to approach Savant.
Okay. Cool. I'll give you that on your next turn. What's Khajiit doing?
Kaji is eyeing the drone, seeing if there's any parts he can get from it.
I should have seen that coming. Give me. You want to like investigate it or computers or what are you thinking? Scavenging.
Yeah, maybe like I guess I'll scavenge, yeah, to see if looks like there's any rare components.
How
in
about
there that I can
instinct
use.
first? Because you're not gonna, unless you're jumping on it to strip it of parts.
Not yet.
Strip the amplifier.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no! All right. Yeah, you can't tell what the parts are from where you are, but everyone else sees a cat Eutherian just like following this drone around with its eyes like it's a laser pointer as it hovers, very interested in grabbing it.
Yes. Khajiit is now thinking he probably needs to find an opening to do something, but he'll wait
Yeah,
for that
I'll
opening.
also say it's like 20 feet in the air or so, so you have to do a leap, which you might be able to do. I don't remember what Eutherian stats are, but oh yeah, you can.
Maybe
You have the tail. You might be able to pull it up.
I may have to climb a pole or something, I guess. Right?
Yeah. Also possible. All right.
Jump off someone's shoulder.
Okay, so I mean, you know, there's some options here. What's Dia doing?
I mean, Dia turns to where Kiev was and is like, they do not seem to be falling for my ploy. Kiev? What the hell does she do? She's,
One way or another, things are
It's not a
happening.
bad plan for the record. It's just an interesting set of circumstances.
I think like she noticed enough or got some Marty mail to know Marty is in the protesters at this point. So I guess she just like tries to approach the green lines.
Uh-oh. She's wearing the wrong clothes.
So you're going towards the greens.
Yeah, so at this point she's like, I would be going the wrong way to try to infiltrate the red. So why, at this point, why would I even bother? So.
All right. You can walk over. Basically, you can tell because you are like your corp is generally affiliated with the Greens, that there are some people wearing Progeniture stuff and Verdant stuff in the crowd. It's not like as obvious a faction there as the Sangre people are, but you can certainly work your way up to some of them and see what to make of that. So let's go with Kiev. Kiev finds that there is in fact a roof entrance to the building. It does have a security panel next to it.
Okay, Kiev will now message Dia, and I guess everyone else, and say, roof access found, security keypad. Should I attempt to infiltrate it?
I guess.
Trying to accomplish, yo.
I like infiltrating. It's like, well, we're in.
I'm trying to get this thing so we can sneak it out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I type on via my wrist pad as I'm approaching these other people. I'm like, perhaps best for me to attempt to announce myself so that they know that someone on site can collect. With permission, we may be able to simply have them deliver it to you at the roof access.
Copy. Holding.
All right. Oh.
That was outside my window there.
Yeah.
Some biker gang coming by.
I'm
Just
surprised we
protest.
haven't had one here yet. Okay, so Marty is talking to Savant, or is going to Savant.
Why not?
All right. So let's see. As you go to talk to him, he kind of sees that you're interested. He doesn't recognize you, and he like hands the microphone to this other dude, some other guy in the crowd. And
To
it's
me,
like,
no.
Yeah. It's like you talk to that.
It's your
person.
song.
And then he sort of goes over here to the side with you, and he's like, "Are you here to join the cause, friend?"
I mean, I'm interested. What makes you say that this is the last chance? Stop him.
Well, I mean, Systems is bringing all these new people onto the planet. Like they're taking them out into the wilds, as I understand it, and they're, trying to make it easier for them to just keep bringing more corpse and more corpse and more corpse onto Deneb all the time. So I can't see any other reason for why this would be going down. That's what all the comms are saying anyway.
Yeah, that tracks. So, what do you think? What are you hoping to achieve? I mean, I know you want to stop him, but like, how do you think this demonstration is going to achieve that?
Well, he kind of, let me see, roll something social for that, because he just met you, and
Right.
he's kind of weird.
Right. How about I could do, let's see, social. So it depends. I mean, my best chance is if I could streetwise it or something. My charisma's not so good, but I could roll that if that's what's called.
I mean, I guess the question is, are you being genuine in what you're asking? I mean, it sounds like a genuine question for now. You're not pretending to be anyone you're not. You're just asking him what he's trying to accomplish. So, you're better at lying somehow. So it's kind of a funny stat thing.
No, that's cool. What if I said that much more intimidatingly? No. What is streetwise? Is it just like knowing stuff about like the street?
Yeah.
I mean that
Yeah, it's understanding, like showing up to a thing like this and being like, that guy's the leader, that guy's wants to be the leader. This is where the best stores are. This is where the off-grid stuff is. Whatever, like knowing your way around.
All right. Can I hyper focus on being charismatic? Is that a thing?
You until you pass out or you achieve charisma.
It's like you're super charismatic, but you lose all. You just fall down, but you're like really.
I explain it, but I like pass out. Yeah.
I'm gonna say maybe not hyper focus, but that's kind of funny.
That would be that'd be super intense. Like
Yeah. Right, super intense, but also extremely charming.
Right. All right. So I guess all these charisma rolls are the same. So what would it be?
Just roll a basic, like, persuasion or a trust. That's fine. Trust
okay. They're all the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna go well.
What?
8.
Okay.
Could have been worse.
Yeah. And Savant rolled super shitty. So he is like, I mean, he's sort of trying to recruit people, right? So he's telling you whatever it is that he wants to know. What was your question to him exactly?
Basically, like.
Oh, how's he trying to accomplish it with this rally?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you want to know the truth? We're trying to get something into the building because we think Verdant is trying to put more plant life out into the wilds, and it's the last thing the wilds need. They haven't tested it to see if it'll work. They haven't, they don't know what's going to interact how with the environment out there, and we want to just stop what they're doing. And we have a few ideas as to how that might be able to be done.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm all for this kind of peaceful protest model, but it is, in my experience, it does not hold a lot of weight with the corpse, They don't tend to react to that in the way that you want.
He's like, absolutely, it's ridiculous, and they just keep throwing, and he's like getting more passionate about it. He's like, they keep throwing more like Terran engineered garbage out there, and like, junking the place up. Like, they can't even make this city work. Why do they think they'd be able to make the wilds work? But we happen to know there's no civilians in the building at the moment, and we've got a couple of options that we think could either be acquired nearby or that already exist in the building that you'd be able to, at the minimum, sabotage the plant life they're working on. At a maximum, maybe stop them for a longer period of time.
So when you say you want to get something into the building, you mean, it's not like, I know what you're getting at.
Yeah. So, we may not even need to get anything in there. I mean, they're a bioengineering company, and we have it on good authority that they have engineered a spray already that can basically, like a, high efficiency pest killer that could be used on other things, but if it were used on the new tech they've just developed that they're planning to take out into the wilds, it would stop them from ever taking it out. Can you all hear me? I can tell I'm like dropping out a little bit.
I hear you fine.
Yeah, I hear you.
My visuals just like stop.
Yeah, you're frozen face-wise.
All right. Should I reload or for now it's fine. I'll just let it go. But if you have trouble hearing me, let me know.
No idea how you're reacting to us, which is good.
Yes. He's like, yeah, we'd need a team that knows what they're doing to effectively navigate the complex, but they're definitely not going to let any of us in there because that's pretty clear who we are. So you may have, you seem to share our interests. You may have shown up at just the right time. And with
go
ahead, you can answer that, and then I'll cut to Khajiit.
No, that's good. So I guess out of character. So they're saying that there's some kind of biological plant life they're experimenting on that they want destroyed to sabotage the research. Is that right?
Yes. Basically, what he's saying is sabotage the research or take out the lab entirely. He probably has recommendations on how you could do that, but he probably doesn't know you that well. And it's kind of amazing that he told you that much already. So,
Fair.
but yeah, that seems to be what he's looking at, and he seems to think it's going to be their last chance to do this before whatever it is goes out into the wilds.
Okay.
Hang on,
probably...
I'm just gonna reload because it bugs me that I can't see myself at all doing anything.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You want to take 5 minutes, everyone?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do that. Bloop. Be right back. All right, it's working. I'll still take a couple minutes, but where's the thing?
So, Emma, what's your plan here? What are you trying to do?
Who knows?
Um,
Stumble upon an answer.
No, I mean, like, I think that generally speaking, Marty is fairly genuine in wanting to help these people. You know, if there's a way to do that and also let you guys get money off of a job, that's fine. But also, it would probably require some help from you guys, so it would probably involve some emails. Like, you know, like if everybody else isn't on board, I mean, like, we know someone who can like suck energy out of biology, right? Like, or is it?
Yeah, Dia.
Right. So I know. Yeah. So you know, we have a built-in way to do that. I guess it's fairly visible though. Right? It's not like she like glows and shit, right?
Yeah.
So it still have to be kind of subtle.
You also have to talk Dia into it because right now Dia is the one that wants us to do the other part of the job.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but you know, it's one of those things where like Marty's not gonna like sabotage the rest of the group, or you know, if they decide not to try to do something about this. But you know, he's still gonna do it.
I mean, basically, Kiev doesn't care. He just wants to get some money. So, if the other side will pay him, or if we can get the money from Verdant and still destroy the thing and make everybody happy, that's fine too.
Cool.
But I feel like you're going to have trouble talking Dia into that.
Yeah, that's fine if that's how it goes. Meanwhile, Khajiit has jumped onto the...
Can break more power boxes for diversion.
It worked so well last time.
Hey, they're like, it's that Ethereum from the video.
He gets a superhero name like Power Breaker. And,
all right, is everyone back and good?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I will just send an email to everyone and basically say like, all right, so I got some information from Sangre. They think that they're pretty sure that Verdant is working on some plant-based research that will help them with their terraforming, and what they're hoping to do is to sabotage that research to keep them from doing it. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not opposed to this idea, but I recognize that a lot of us came here with the intent of doing a job for the other side to get money. I don't know how you all feel about it. I know we certainly have a person who can drain life energy out of things. But, you know, I couldn't do this alone, especially since you are the guy who's getting in there. So like, if you feel like those are at cross purposes, I guess I understand. If we think there's a way to like have our cake and eat it too, and take the job and not let them know that we also sabotage the research, that's something we could try. But anyway, this was it was all CC'd, so you all can reply all.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
can
but
say,
like-
yeah.
I'm cool with whatever gets us paid.
I mean, is it feasible that Dia could respond to multiple emails while walking over to these people, or do we figure
Sure,
I
we can
have to
say you're
actually
all-
talk to them first?
You can. It depends. Which would you rather do first? I don't mind you guys having a conversation about this right now, and then seeing what else you learn.
I don't. I mean, it's kind of funnier for there to be the possibility that everyone else decides, yeah, let's do both, and Dia not know and be like, I vehemently oppose destroying whatever
That's
did here.
true.
But
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine,
fine
too.
either way. Okay.
All right. We'll say Marty sends that, and it's Khajiit's turn. So what is Khajiit doing?
Khajiit says Khajiit can do whatever we want to do. Khajiit can look for more power boxes. That will help.
Or yeah, and I'll say also, this guy, one of the talking points that the Reds have been shouting about is power outages. So like reasons why he can tell the corps aren't able to keep this city running properly, like, is the number of power outages going on across Heaven Colony. So,
Khajiit is happy.
Perfect cover. It's all covered by Khajiit too.
yeah. So you can look for more power boxes if you'd like. There are a lot of peacekeepers around, so more so than at the Sova School, where there were 0 peacekeepers around.
Maybe there's a power box somewhere out of view.
If you would like to roll for power boxes, you can do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Was that perception?
Sure. All right. Like Kiev, you find an alley nearby, and you can see that like a couple of stories up. It's like an alley with 2 buildings very close to one another, like maybe 10 feet apart. And like maybe 3 stories up, there's a power box with a bunch of lines going into it.
So Khajiit lets the group know. Khajiit found another box to get more parts from Marty.
Great.
I see no downside.
Kiev exhales deeply and
I like
Also, Khajiit, if you ever get caught doing anything, destroy your comm immediately.
And all records of emails.
Just that's just a suggestion.
I love it. We're on mission, session 4 or mission 2? It's already at like how to burn all of our tracks and erase our identities and pretend we don't exist.
Time to go to a new planet.
Right. The rendezvous point is never see each other again.
Yeah, I know.
it's just
Very
But
little.
all entirely separate tracks at this point.
I know. Yeah, it's literally each of you walking to a different faction. It's great. If you ever get caught in anything you're doing, destroy your comm. Doesn't matter what it is. Anyway.
We can get more comms. It's all right.
Yeah. All right. Great. Because you sees power boxes. What is Dia doing?
So I think, like, right, Dia's ungridded comm is, like, on her pointing arm. And
Yeah.
so, like, we see, like, it's blinking as new messages are coming in. but like she's approaching whoever she thinks looks the most in charge to speak with them. Can I tell that, or should I just talk to whoever and see what happens?
I will say that. Yeah, there is like a cluster of people wearing verdant gear that looks like kind of scientists talking nervously to one another.
Okay.
They have lab coats on and they're trying to keep their heads kind of low in the crowd.
Okay, so I just like go up to them like community theater play acting, looking upset, and I'm like, "My name is Choristia. I'm with Progeniture. You should have gotten my name from Azaria Sue. I'm here to help you, but in order to maintain my cover, I am looking very upset with you, and will continue to do so."
All right, roll a. That's like performance. Yeah.
I guess so. Oh yeah, okay, that's in that.
That's
I'll
there.
write it down.
Oh.
I was worried that was just like a regular like charisma roll, which I have nothing for. Doesn't matter.
That's all right. No, it's good. They rolled bad too. So, all right, you walk up to them, and this person stands out. One of the scientists wearing verdant gear, and when you say your name, she does respond like she has heard it before. And she goes, "Oh, you're Choristia. They told us you might be coming. I'm glad you're here. We are trying to get," and you can see she looks down at this like biocanister between them. She's like, this needs to get into the labs in there because they're shipping. I don't know how much you know about any of this. Did your contact fill you in at all?
Patrick had thought that we had to go in to then smuggle something out, but I may have misremembered that. But
And it's also possible your contact didn't have the full detail either, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think Thea's like, I suppose I had been under the impression that we needed to get something out, not something in, but regardless, I do not know much more. Still looking, trying to look angry. I do not know much more, than what I've heard generally. But my background is in terraforming, so I could potentially help further with more details.
All right. So the woman introduces herself. As Reba Rutherford. She says, "All right, here's how it's going because you're new to this planet." Which is not meant as a slight in any way, but just, to explain the layout here. Verdant has this whole section of town is Verdant Industries. This lab here is where they were growing plant life, which is going to be sent out on the Terran Systems mission soon, in the next couple of days, we hear. We haven't been able to access this building for a little while because of security concerns. So we were engineering kind of like how do I describe it? Like a serum in another lab across town that is supposed to help reinforce our plant life so that it can definitely survive longer out in the wilds. We've tested it, but we're not sure that it's going to. That we're going to have another chance to get this serum onto the plants before they go out on the rovers in 2 days. So everything we have of it is in this canister. And there's like 3 different rooms inside the facility, which they're not going to let me get past. We're kind of trying to keep a low profile here because of this protest. But someone needs to get it in for us, or the plants will have to try to make it the best they can with the engineering that was done before this past week.
I think like near the beginning of that, Dia sort of put her hands on her hips to maintain some level of annoyance look, but not wanting to do the play acting anymore.
Yeah,
but more than
say
anything,
you, like moved up to the back of a crowd.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
More than anything, like what pinged Dia's radar, and it might have, even in reality, it might just have been a word choice issue. But in character, I like the idea that like Dia is used to corporate doublespeak, particularly now with like the idea of like writing over gross injustices with jargon. So it really stood out to her that security concerns was not described more. So he doesn't know if that means the protesters or why several days ago they weren't able to get into this place. So she's like, when you say security concerns, do you mean the protests have been going on this long, or do you mean something with the research inside has prevented you from getting access safely?
And she looks concerned and like that's not what she meant at all. She's like, no, everything in the lab is fine. The protests and the threat of protests, and there was like a bomb threat against the building a couple of days ago. There have been reasons why we haven't been able to access our research, but instead of not doing our research, we've just been doing it across town. But we're at the point where these two pieces of research need to meet one another in order to accomplish our goals. Like, we can't keep working in a vacuum.
What makes you think that in several days, when Terran Systems needs to retrieve it from you, the same security concerns won't be an issue?
Well, Terran Systems is stretched thin, guarding as many places around the city as they can for various reasons, but in 2 days, like, all of their resources are being put towards this mission, so they'll be actively helping get the plant life out at that point, because it's their mission that the plant life is going on. We just need to have this serum in the plants long before they go out into, like, it takes 24 hours for it to actually set, and the plants might die without it.
I mean, I guess, right, that's not a useful answer because there's 2 days between then and now.
True. But there's she would say that there's no sign that these protests are going to let up between now and the actual.
Right. I guess right. I guess I'll roll with it in terms of. Well, I don't know. If we're like around a corner or whatever, I could theoretically look at my comms and see what Marty said.
Yeah, I think you two can consult at this point.
Yeah, for like clarification. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
So much of the planet is. The reason they're terraforming is because a lot of it is uninhabitable to humans. Is that correct?
Yes. So most of the planet is uninhabitable to humans. Most of the colonies that are here are smaller than this one. This is the largest of the bubble colonies, but all of them are under bubbles with their own little mini atmospheres inside. The implication here is that something about an upcoming mission is to bring more corps to this planet, which a lot of people find to be already overcrowded, but in theory, if one were to terraform the planet better than it has been done so far, you could make room for more, more colonies and eventually not need the domes. Is that real life, Khajiit?
Yes, that is Khajiit. Yes, avoid breaking stuff.
Excellent.
Is that actually his name?
No. His name is Moon. Well, we call him that sometimes because he likes to steal things.
Is it Gulp Dukat, aka Boothby?
Okay, Khajiit.
Yeah. So basically, most of the planet's not inhabitable. There are some plants that Systems has thrown out there and other corps over the years with the attempt to terraform. They seem to have made limited progress so far, so they're calling on other corps to try and up the speed of that to make it sustainable. There's still some pieces of this that don't line up for everybody, and that's how it should be. But that's what you know so far.
The Sangre is just like generally militantly like environmentalist. Is there anything, is the terraforming, disrupting any other ecosystem that they're concerned about in particular, or are they just like kind of
that's kind of I would say, because Sangre is not an official corp, because it's more of a movement, they are all over the board in terms of level of environmentalism among them. So even the guy on the loudspeaker may not represent exactly what everyone in this rally expects or wants, but for simplicity's sake, what Sangre is for is making sure that humanity explores for whatever may exist in nature on these planets in its entirety before they go about throwing new technology and new biology at it and possibly wipe out any life that might be there. So they feel that there has not been enough research done on what already exists on this planet outside of the domes.
Got it. Okay.
Whereas generally the Greens are like, humans first, whatever allows us to put more humans here and more development, sustainably.
Air quote, sustainably.
Yeah, the way corporations say sustainably when they mean the quickest, cheapest, dirtiest way to get this job done.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yep.
So either I can reply to Marty, or we can move on if that was enough of this initiative.
Yeah, I think that's enough for that. Kiev is still holding.
Yeah, he's just waiting to be told what needs to be done.
Okay. Yeah, so you've gotten kind of both of at least the first part of both of these groups' goals. I'll say Marty also sees, as he's talking to Savant, this other woman here, who is a Tamari, who looks like a little concerned at what she's hearing from Savant, but is not saying anything, is also dressed in Sangre garb.
Yes, I'm getting the sense that helping Verdant and helping this group may be mutually exclusive options. That's
Emmett certainly has that sense. Yeah.
All right, Emmett does. Yeah, I don't know that that Marty would know that yet because he's only heard one side of the story.
It might be tough out of game. Yes, it might be tough to both destroy the plants and save the plants in the same mission.
May not matter because the power is about to go out.
Oh wait, is the power system he's going onto on the Verdant building, or is it just like around?
This is the Verdant section of town. Last time he pulled the power converter, it just took out power to that one building, but when you came back out of the building, power was down in the neighborhood. So you're not quite sure what happened there, but that's what happened.
We're the Dark Bandits.
So
Everything in the dark.
yeah, so Savant,
That'd be great to just make that like what happens from now on, no matter what the mission is. You just knock
Take
out
out the
power
power.
and steal all the stuff.
Sort of assumed that a building like Verdant probably has like some sort of backup power, but that's
Possible.
just me.
Solar.
Yeah, ironic.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Well,
Marty can go.
well, Savant, that sounds like a tall order what you're proposing, but I can look into it, and to prove that I am on the level, I should be able to, on command, cause a power outage in this area.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that proves you're on the level, but
What I mean to say is that I can get stuff done. And you said that like this that power outages have been sort of plaguing their operations, right?
Yeah, they've been
So,
plaguing
like-
this whole city. It's
So,
not
yeah,
you,
nobody
is
would-
it?
No. But what I'm saying is, like,
I know who it is.
nobody would suspect that it was sabotage, unless they're all sabotage. Not that that's even what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I can do it on command. I didn't specify really like what that actually means.
Sounds
He kind of looks at you and he's like, "You're not a Signan, are you?"
No, I don't know any. No, I mean I know some, but like, no, I'm just a guy who is not a big fan of the corpse. So I'll see what I can do.
He's like,
just-
"Yeah,
come on.
make a power outage or don't. If you can get rid of the plant life in that building, there's 1,000 credits in it for you. That's all I'm saying."
There we go.
all right.
And if you want to do it the less fun way, you're looking for something called crater spray once you're in there. It's basically like, you remember they used to have this thing called DEET? It's like DEET on steroids. Like, it will pretty much wipe out the biology of any plant life, just break down all the organic matter. If you happen to find any while you're in there, distribute it through the right rooms, that should do it. You could also use, Z4 explosives. That'll do it too, and that'll take out a good chunk of their operations for some time. So I didn't say that, though. You didn't hear that from me. But I'm pretty sure the store off the street's got some.
That doesn't really sound like my MO, but I appreciate that you're thinking about it in different levels.
Yeah, you just, you don't need to be as precise that way.
Yeah. The email's Khajiit. He's like, tell me before you're about to turn off the power, because I need to be able to prove that I'm on the level.
All right. Well, Khajiit's turn. Are you going for a power supply?
Yes, Kaji is climbing up, and then he tells Marty, yes, Kaji will do it very soon. Actually, he's waiting for a drone to fly close by so that he could time it where he takes out the power box and then jumps on the drone.
All right.
Good.
Okay. It can do that then. So you're over here. We'll say that this is like a little alleyway back that way, and yeah, the drone's kind of circling, so it's moving around. But yeah, if you wanted to do that on your next round, you could do that.
All right.
At least attack the power thing, and then your next thing. Well, let's say you can attack the power thing right now, and we'll get that out of the way, because it's definitely happening one way or another.
You scavenge it.
Yep, roll for scavenging. And I assume you're like leaping cat like.
Oh.
All the parts out.
So describe you going up to the transformer then.
So Khajiit kind of bounces back and forth between the walls, making his way up. And he gets to the power box. He kind of looks at it, saying, "Oh, Khajiit's seen this power box many times before." And so he knows exactly what to be tearing out to get maximum value. And it goes at it.
Some red down on the street, like, here's that, because you've seen this kind of power box before. And it's like, what is that noise coming from the alley? I don't know.
And then it's like raining like small bits of like screws and things onto the alley below.
All right. Are you looking for any specific parts like last time, or you just want?
Particularly parts to, I guess, try to fill out what Marty was looking for.
Okay.
So at the
So
very
they don't need
least,
to be injectors or clamps or anything this time.
no.
All right. Clamps. Okay. You find Not that many parts. You find like 2 common parts on that power transformer.
All those cheap power boxes.
But it looks like you can remove them without knocking the power out, if that's what you want to do. Or you can try to scavenge it another round if you stay up there. I will let you think about that as we go back to Dia. And I think we'll play this that once we've determined at least you've gathered as much information as you want on the street, we'll call it for tonight, and we'll pick it up where you actually go in with a plan next time.
Yeah.
Plan.
Just,
Yes.
yeah, with a plan. You know, optimistic thinking. But
Good.
okay. But you can just
yeah.
discuss in between.
So I think I like hold up a finger to Ripa,
Yeah.
and in traditional Dia fashion, and look at the wrist comm and catch up, particularly on what Marty said. It's like I think I reply, that may be a tad premature to try to destroy countless hours of scientific exploration and advancement, but let me find out more.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Hope you don't need power for that. Never mind.
so
I'm just putting a couple of the NPCs you've met into the Discord, but you can keep going.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, okay. So, if I recall correctly, basically the last thing she said was, "But we, intimated that they had no reason to believe that over the next 2 days anything in this building would be in trouble." So I guess oh man, I guess I then reply to Marty. Would it? How much danger would you be put in if I shared with Verdant details that the agitators have information and or access to their facility?
Why would you want to do that? You know.
They believe that
Call the cops. Wait, the cops are already here.
right, it's the 911. Yeah. Verdant seems to believe that they are at risk of no imminent danger to the interior of the building from the protesters. But you seem to have information otherwise.
I mean, I think what I said in the email was that that they are aware of some research that is helping the terraforming, and that they want to sabotage it.
Okay. So,
but I don't think I said anything about their intent to maybe blow it up. And also, Marty's not really down with doing that anyway, so he didn't suggest it. But
okay.
Yeah.
Then in that case, then I don't really have. I guess that question's irrelevant.
Okay.
So I guess I turn to her and I'm. I mean, honestly, I think what Dee is most interested in this point is like, as a fellow scientist and one who presumably has studied the terraforming efforts here more extensively, unless you are new here as well. I am curious. I have heard little except for the stories of why terraforming has not worked. Do you believe this project is this designed to solve the unique problems of this planet, or is this designed to as a last gasp?
And Reapa's kind of nodding as you talk and is like, this certainly Deneb has had its issues with terraforming over the years. This colony's been here for, 30, 40 years, and this is it's still the main colony, and it keeps getting bloated as more and more people show up without a planet to live on. I'm here to try to do what I can. I can't say that this is the last. I'm sure there will be other projects after this one, but for whatever reason, Terran Systems, Verdant, even Progeniture, as I understand it, a lot of them are putting a lot of effort into this particular endeavor right now. So when the resources are there, that we actually have the funding and ability to do the research we need to do, that's when we have to get it done. And sometimes there are whole years that go by without the momentum we've had in the last month or two. And I'm not sure why exactly, other than, whatever this project is that's going on in the next couple of days.
Understood. I appreciate that insight. And so, if I understand, she would give me the parcel, and then I would have to find a way in. So it's not like we're at the doors of the facility.
Well, I am.
But you are, yeah, right, exactly.
Yes, it's probably not likely that the Peacekeepers would let you directly in.
Yeah. Okay.
These scientists have no idea how to get into the building at all.
Can they get word? Sorry, can they get word into the building?
There's no one in it currently that they know of.
Does anyone do a combination to the roof lock?
Is that what you're asking?
Oh.
To ask them?
I'm saying I'm actually sending this to Dia.
Yeah. So I look at it and I look up at Reaper and I'm like, I have two important questions. The first, a colleague has already scoped out the roof and could hypothetically gain access via that if we have or via access there. It would be ideal if we had the actual code to enter rather than having to
corrode
break
our way
in. Use certain chemicals at our disposal.
And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess there would have to be a roof access, wouldn't there? It's not really a thing we use every day. But I'm sure someone could find that, right? And she kind of turns to the rest of the group, and they're like, yeah, probably we can look into that. It's going to be easier than getting past this if you can reach the roof. So, and you notice most of these people who you're talking to are Terrans, or appear to be Terrans anyway. So none of them are cats or lizards or things that can climb their way up there. She's like, do you think, if you let me know if you think you can help get it in there, and I'll give you the explanation of how the canisters work and what you'd need to do.
Oh, yes. Apologies. Yes, I am accepting the job. Thank you.
Oh, great. Then she's like, I'm so glad that Azaria put us in touch. I was hoping, I don't want to pin all my hopes in one place, but I was hoping you could pull it off. So she pulls you down to the canister and opens it up. And inside this biocanister, there are 3 little spray bottles. And she says, okay, so there are A, B, and C labs inside Verdant, and I'll write this all down for you later, so you don't have to memorize this. But each lab has a case of plants in it, and you'll see it immediately when you get there. You'll know the place, and each 1 bottle per room. Just spray it to depletion, but it has to be done take your time. It'll probably take 10 minutes to actually spray. If you just dump it all into the soil, it's going to be too much for any of it. It needs time to sink in gradually. But
three puzzle rooms, you say?
No, not
Deadly
at all.
puzzles.
Deadly chemical puzzles.
More cunning than the last.
I've hidden the rooms in a place.
Because of the poison.
A lab crawl.
Yeah, so she says
We're
it
having
means a
those.
lot. I'll see what I can do in terms of, payment, but I know at least it'll mean a lot to Systems and Verdant, and I hear Zyra Corp is starting a new colony nearby soon, and I'm sure all of them would be interested in knowing that you and your team helped out.
Of course. Thank you. As to my second important question, can any of you lend me any pants?
And yeah. And
I've asked this of people randomly before. It's part of the scavenger hunt. Doesn't usually work for me.
Doesn't usually work.
I feel like that question followed by a possible power outage is the best way to end this session for tonight.
Yes.
Are you going to keep stripping that box, Dave, or?
What else could I be doing?
Okay, let's see if you get anything else out of that box. Yup. Let's see what you get out of the box. Alright, it's looking good for Khajiit. Okay, you get 3, suddenly you pull a panel back and you see 3 rare components in that box. All of those rolls just came up fantastic. They were all it was 19 out of 20, 6 out of 6, and 4 out of 4. So you did great. There are 3 rare components in that box, but as soon as you pull them, it will definitely knock the power out to at least that building and possibly the whole area.
Meanwhile, back on the street,
yes,
Marty is doing this thing like he's conducting an orchestra, and then right when he's gonna hit the crescendo, everything goes dark around.
And Dia has no pants.
I have
Yes,
pants. I just don't want them to say sangre.
Sangre
is literally sitting on the roof of the building, playing with the little the portable video game that he found.
Right. Awesome. Watching the power go out around you.
The threat game that he's just yeah, come on, 7.
Yeah, so you're and jackpot.
Damn it!
All right, cool.
Ridiculous.
I think that calls it for the night with that ridiculous series of events.
Good.
Cool.
We're definitely close to achieving something.
On the plus side, you can all sort of regather and determine what you want to do. You can downtime around here if you want to. Talk to any more of these people or switch off who you were talking to is perfectly valid.
Just to double check though.
Yes.
3 of us can definitely regroup, but is Khajiit's next plan to still jump onto a drone?
Is it?
Yes.
Maybe that's
All
the
right.
downtime action.
Yeah, maybe so. Stripping a drone of parts. And I assume you're not just pulling the speakers off it, you're trying to take away everything and disable it.
Take everything of value.
Okay. I will roll for that in the downtime as well. Figure out how many parts you stripped from the drone. Because it does not have defensive systems, as the other drones have.
That's good.
But it will be noticeable to the Reds that they no longer have a speaker system, so...
But it disappeared in the dark, so who knows?
Who knows? Alright, cool. Any
lost
last
power.
wrap-up stuff people have, or are we good?
Should we plan for the next session, or should
Yes.
we wait?
Yeah, we can do that. 2 weeks from now?
I'd prefer not to do Tuesdays if we could
Oh,
avoid it.
right. Is trivia happening again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, online, but yeah.
Yeah. Monday the 28th is fine.
Fine by me.
Or Wednesday the 30th.
I'm wide open.
Or Sunday the 27th, even.
Monday or Wednesday, okay with me.
Yeah, Monday. I mean, I guess all of those are technically all right with me.
Alright, let's do Monday the 28th then.
Perfect. Same time?
Yeah. 9 Eastern, 8 Central, etc. 6 Pacific.
Sure.
Great. Alright. I will send out a Google Calendar thingy for everybody.
Ooh.
Alright. Thanks all.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thanks.
For sure.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Right.